Are you a fan of The Substance? Or what about The Fly? Or The Brood? Tusk? The Thing? If you're a fan of any one of those movies, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then come slide with your boy Tech as we cover the new body horror movie together. Alright, Spooky Gang, diving into this movie right now with no major spoilers and just a simplified outline of the movie. So, like I said, no major spoilers or anything that you'll have to worry about with that. This movie is written and directed by Michael Shanks, and in this movie, a couple, Tim and Millie, played by Dave Franco and Alison Brie, move to a small town to fix their struggling relationship. And after they have a strange experience in a cave, there are physical symptoms that begin to affect their bodies and their relationship. Over the course of the movie, they increasingly more attached and more dependent on each other, and I mean that literally and emotionally. And as the movie progresses, one of their neighbor's strange behavior raises some suspicion about the history of the town. And as we start getting into the climax of the movie, the couple then uncovers dark secrets connected to the cave and past disappearances. And at the end of the movie, they face a disturbing transformation that completely redefines their relationship. So, Spooky Gang, talking about some of the technical elements of the movie, we're looking at the cinematography aspect of it. Michael Shanks gives the movie a surreal and a very intimate visual tone. And outside of his direction and cinematography, I really want to give credit to Dave Franco and Alison Brie because they really brought these characters to life, and the tension and the love that they have between them in the movie genuinely is palpable. You can really feel their emotions in different scenes, so they really did an excellent job. And so when you pair that with Michael Shanks style and using different little tight frames, and it really helps reflect the couple's emotional entanglement. And then talking about the practical effects and the body horror of the movie, I thought the effects were very good, very limited use of CGI, using a bunch of those practical effects that it really just makes everything just that much more unnerving whenever you're seeing body horror elements to a movie and you having practical effects, because then usually with those, they usually have a really good sound design, which I'm going to get into, but the different actions and the things that are making as they're using the practical effects to illustrate the body horror of the movie, like seeing bodies morph into different grotesque details and ways, it really just adds to the movie. And again, as I mentioned, talking about the sound design and the score and all that good stuff, the sound plays such a huge role, from like the squelching, stretching, and different like organic noises of the body doing different things, and like that's what really helps, makes you feel like ugh when you're watching it, you know what I mean, things like that. And the score is pretty minimal, but it is very eerie, and it does just enough of its job to help set the scene in different settings, so it's perfectly fine there. As far as like the pacing and the editing of the movie, I thought the movie paced very well. I think this is like an hour and 40 minute runtime, and the movie just kind of flew through it. Like, you know, a lot of movies, especially your slow burn, but in a lot of movies there's usually like that 15 to 20 minute spot in a movie where it seems like just time just drags on and on and on and on. Dang, like now it feels like we're 2 hours into the movie and we haven't even hit the climax yet. Yeah, but this movie doesn't have that problem. The pacing is very good, so it really keeps you on your feet pretty much the entire way. And then talking about symbolism and, you know, what this movie sort of means on a deeper level in metaphors, there was a lot of symbolism throughout the cave and physical attachment and certain markings that really tie back to the themes of identity and codependency that really help reinforce and drive home like that emotional arc of the characters and the overall storyline. And with that being said, it is rating time. The 1 through 5 technical rating, I would say from a technical aspect, I think that this movie is about a 3 out of 5. I think it's once again a very solid 3. Nothing too crazy. It isn't anything that's just like, from a technical aspect, it's nothing that's just like truly amazing or brand new or overly refreshing to the genre or anything like that. It's just a good solid movie all around with no real problems or anything like that. There's still some questions I have in terms of the plot. There's questions where it's just like, I'm not exactly sure about how this happened to make this happen. You just are unsure, but it wasn't completely spelled out. So that's kind of how it is for that. But yeah, from a technical aspect, it's about a 3 out of 5. And then from how much I enjoyed this movie out of 5, I will say I really enjoyed this theater experience. I can't even lie to you. I think that it was really consistent. Like I said, the pacing was just so good. There wasn't any crazy highs and there really weren't any lows at all. But it just like, it was a steady pace the entire film, and there really isn't too much to say about that. So I really would say that is about a 4 out of 5 for me. So once again, as a total rating out of 10, here's another movie that is coming in at that 7 out of 10. And as I mentioned before, a 7 out of 10 is a really good rating. Like, I don't want people to think, oh, 7 out of 10 means the movie was mid. Like, no, it's not a mid movie. It is a very enjoyable movie, and like I said, for the people who are truly fans of body horror movies, so some of the ones that I mentioned in the beginning, so The Thing and Tusk and The Substance, like if you like things like that and you like to see the body get contorted, twisted, ripped apart, even brought together, this is definitely the movie for you. So like I said, strong 7 out of 10. It falls right in line with all the other movies that I've watched this year. Like I said, with my previous review with Bring Her Back, I think Bring Her Back technically is a little better of a movie than this, but I just enjoyed this movie a little bit more than I enjoyed that. But then they both end up balancing out to be a 7 out of 10. And that works the same way for the other movies out there, Sinners and Hard Eyes of the World and Clown in a Cornfield and all that. They're all floating around 5 to 6 out of 10. So like I said, this year just continues on to be just like even keeled for the most part. No real bad trash. But I will say I'm really looking forward to that banger that's coming out this upcoming week, Weapons. Yeah, I think that that's truly going to be a banger. Not going to put too much pressure on it, but I think that that's going to be that one where we're like, okay, this movie stands out from the rest of the movies. But with all of that being said, Spooky Gang, y'all let me know what you thought of the movie Together, and where does it rank amongst all the rest of the movies that have come out this year? Y'all comment that down below. Like the video as I mentioned in the intro. And yeah, Spooky Gang, appreciate y'all as always. And be on the lookout next week for another review of the movie that I just mentioned, Weapons. Just because I know that that will be highly anticipated, not just for all horror fans who are ready to watch this movie, but I know the Spooky Gang, y'all are right in line with that. And I'm sure all of y'all will be in that movie theater in droves. So be on the lookout for that next week. Until next time, Spooky Gang, y'all already know how we rocking. Y'all stay blessed and y'all stay spooky.